Someone strikes a pose thinking they're the subject of a photo, but the person is actually photographing the building behind them. You know that feeling when you're just walking down the street, minding your own business, and you see someone with a camera pointed in your direction? It's a little jolt, right? A mix of surprise and, let's be honest, a tiny bit of flattery. Like, oh me. Are they capturing my effortless, cool, just walking around vibe? I had one of those moments last week. It was one of those perfect city days. The sun was hitting the pavement just right. I was wearing my favorite jacket, and I felt like I was the main character in my own movie. As I turned a corner onto this really picturesque street, I saw him. A guy with a serious-looking camera, a big lens, the whole professional setup, and he was pointing it directly at me. My brain went into overdrive. Okay, what's happening here? Am I a street-style model now? Did he see the perfect composition, the way the light was hitting my hair? My first instinct was to just keep walking and act natural. You know, that cool, unbothered look. But then another part of my brain, the part that has watched way too many movies, kicked in. It was whispering, this is your moment. Don't just walk past it. Engage. So, I slowed down. I gave him a little more time to get the shot. I even adjusted my jacket, kind of pulling on the lapels, trying to look thoughtful and a little bit mysterious. I thought maybe I should strike a pose, but that felt too obvious, too thirsty. So I settled for a subtle, almost smile. A little smirk that said, I know you're taking my picture, and I'm cool with it. I started running through the possibilities in my head. Maybe he's a famous photographer, like a modern-day Bill Cunningham, and tomorrow I'll be on some influential blog. My friends will be like, is that you? And I'll casually say, oh yeah, this photographer just stopped me on the street. It was no big deal. I imagined the caption, an anonymous city dweller. Perfectly embodying the spirit of a Tuesday afternoon, it was going to be epic. I continued my slow, cinematic walk towards him, maintaining my cool guy expression. He was still there, camera pressed to his eye, clicking away. Click, click, click. The sound of my impending fame. I got closer and closer, and I started preparing my line. Something like, hope you got a good one, or where can I see the photos? I wanted to sound appreciative, but not desperate. It's a fine line to walk. As I got to about 10 feet away from him, he lowered his camera. This was it. The moment of interaction. I opened my mouth to speak, ready to deliver my perfectly rehearsed casual line. And just as I did, he took a step to his side, looked right past me, and said to the empty air, the architectural detail on this cornice is just incredible. The way the light catches the terracotta, magnificent. I froze. Mid-step, mid-smirk, mid-fantasy. He hadn't been looking at me at all. He had his camera aimed over my shoulder at the old bank building right behind me. A building I hadn't even noticed. I slowly turned my head, and yup, there it was. An old ornate stone building with gargoyles and fancy carvings. Apparently, the real star of the show. The photographer, completely oblivious to my entire internal monologue and my subtle posing, was now fiddling with his lens, getting ready for another shot. He even crouched down to get a different angle, completely ignoring the human being who had just performed a one-man fashion show for him. The embarrassment hit me like a wave. All that posturing, all that main character energy, all for a building. I suddenly felt very small and very silly. I looked at the building, then back at the photographer, then at my own reflection in a shop window. Was I really less interesting than a chunk of decorative stone? Apparently, to this guy, yes. 100 times yes. I had two options. I could either stand there and dissolve into a puddle of humiliation, or I could own it. I chose option 3. Pretend nothing ever happened and walk away as fast as my legs could carry me without actually breaking into a full sprint. I did a quick 180 and scurried back the way I came, my face burning. I didn't dare look back. For all I knew, he was now taking a picture of my pathetic retreat. Man awkwardly flees scene of his own ego death. A whole different kind of street photography. The whole walk home, I couldn't stop replaying it. The slow walk, the jacket adjustment, the smirk. Oh, the smirk. It was so cringy. I had been so sure, so convinced of my own photographic appeal. The universe, it seemed, had other plans. It needed to remind me that sometimes you're not the picture. You're just the person blocking the view of the picture. But you know what? After the initial sting wore off, it became hilarious. It's a great story, isn't it? It's a perfect reminder not to take yourself too seriously. Because one minute you think you're on the verge of becoming a style icon, and the next you realize you've been upstaged by a 100-year-old piece of masonry. It really puts things in perspective. The city is full of so much beauty and so much history, and sometimes we get so caught up in our own little worlds that we forget to look around. I was so focused on being seen that I didn't even see the incredible building right behind me. The photographer did. He saw the art that I had completely missed. In a weird way, I'm kind of grateful for the experience. It was a humbling and frankly hysterical lesson. And hey, I spent 10 minutes feeling like a supermodel. That's not nothing. Even if my co-star was a silent, stone-faced building. Next time you see someone with a camera pointed your way, by all means, feel free to strike a little pose. Just do yourself a favor and take a quick glance over your shoulder. You might find out you're not the main attraction, and maybe that's okay. Maybe the real art is in the background. Anyway, that's my story of mistaken identity and architectural rivalry. Let me know in the comments if anything like this has ever happened to you. I'd love to hear I'm not the only one. If you liked this story, give me a like, and for more tales of everyday awkwardness, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.